Hello everyone, welcome to our latest Pasture Perspective. I have already lost count of how many Pasture Perspectives we've done. Today is December 21st, 2013. We are discussing Season 4, Episode 6, Power Ponies. I have here with me Perrydotto.
Hello.
Snowfire.
Hello.
My phone keeps making a lot of noise. Let me mute that, okay. And Tailspin.
Hello.
So let's start all of this off with some one-shot thoughts, little one-sentence perspective. Snowfire, what'd you think?
I actually liked this episode quite a bit, mostly because I was always hoping that they would do an episode where they were superheroes of some kind, so I actually quite enjoyed it. And I also enjoyed how, even though it was very much Spike's episode, it was centered around him, how they also made it involve Fluttershy a little bit, seeing as how she couldn't, become angry. They actually had to work her up to that, toward the end of the episode.
All right. Perry, what'd you think?
It was much more fun than I expected. I had basically two ideas how this could go. Either, it's just a real logical thing, it's low key, set in the world of the ponies, or they really commit to it and go full force. Like, we do this all the way, not just a little bit, like in Mystery of the Friendship Express, with these little sprinkled in parodies, but it doesn't really work because it's kind of tacked upon. Here, they did the thing that I hoped they would. They went all the way, and that's why it was just a lot of fun. It had some character bits for Spike, especially, which I really liked, and that was great. It was actually pretty damn fun for what it was.
We're having really long run-on sentences here.
It's German. That's how I'm used to.
User
of
joined
course.
your channel.
Tailspin, what'd you think?
To my surprise, I actually think it's an alright episode. I was very much expecting the worst. Probably something on the level of Mysterious Mare-Duel, and it's alright. I don't know. I liked some elements of it.
All right. And it just occurred to me, I totally didn't introduce myself. I'm Scott.
You don't need any introduction.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Barry. I'm Scott, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, clean, fun. Let's get into that a little bit. Let's talk about the idea. I'm going to pick a topic that isn't actually on the bullet point list. Go me, breaking my own rule right out the door.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Let's talk a little bit at a more macro topic of the fact that we've got yet another not particularly consequential episode as far as the overarching world goes. What do you guys think about the fact that we've been doing very little direct world building in the past few episodes?
I wouldn't say it's direct, not really direct world building. On this episode, it's very much true because it's set in an entirely different setting, pretty much after the first 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not direct world building, but I'd say I like that it was still tied to the overall story, that it was still a nod to it with, the fact, we repair the castle. We still do a thing, the thing that's been introduced earlier on in a different episode. So, I don't think it was bad, because they wanted to do something different, and that shows, because they committed to it, but at least they still, said, oh, hey, we didn't forget about this. That's nice. I was okay with that.
Yeah, I was pretty much expecting them to completely forget the castle, or at least just never reference it. I mean, referencing that they're kind of repairing it and stuff is pretty cool. Also, I like the idea that you can buy a comic book in Equestria that just dumps you into the world it's about.
I want one of those.
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah,
Where can
true.
I buy
There was
one?
this. They mentioned this shop, right? That was world building in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot the name of the.
book.
I forgot the name of the comic book shop that Spike said he got it from. He said he got it in Canterlot.
Enchanted Comics.
Enchanted
Sorry,
Comics.
Comics, something like that.
That. All right.
I like that the name was so descriptive already, but Spike made an honest mistake of saying, "Hey, I thought it just meant they were so good."
Yeah. Why would you honestly expect it to be actually enchanted in a world of magic? I mean,
Yes,
who
Yeah, I know.
saw that coming?
hilarious that the store even goes to the safety measure of saying, "Hey, we sell magic freaking comics. You should probably be cautious." And
They
Spike's
probably
still
had
like,
signs up all over
"Aw."
the place.
You can tell he's like a little kid because, he probably just thought, "Oh, that comic looks so cool, I want it," and he didn't really care where it was sold. Afterwards he's like, "Oh, come on."
Also,
It was nice.
in terms of world building, Scott, you mentioned that we haven't had a lot of it. I just was thinking of the Daring Don't. I know they never mention exactly where they are, but that is a new location that they go to. That temple that they go to stop Aoizotl.
Yeah, I've was kind of touching on the idea that they've been doing a lot of background world building, but never. Or they haven't been doing a lot of, holding a map in front of our face, and saying, "Look at this. This is important."
Oh yeah, I see.
The touching up the castle was a real world building piece, but it's kind of a background piece. So, yeah. Snow, you want to pick the next topic? What do you want to talk about?
The puns. Let's talk about the puns.
Jeez.
You're not Snow.
Let's see. I guess we could do the one that I was starting to type up a little bit. It's obvious that in this episode, the main six were supposed to be representing, or some of them were more original, but some of them were, direct references to superheroes. And
They were all references, I think.
yeah, they pretty much all were. But the only one I wasn't able to really figure out was Twilight. What superhero she was supposed to be. Everyone else is kind of really obvious who they're supposed to be, but the one that I was kind of upset with a little bit was Applejack, because she has the special lasso like Wonder Woman does, but she doesn't have we never saw her use it. We never saw her have like super strength like Wonder Woman does, or something that would make sense, because Applejack is one of the strongest of the main six.
And I think that's kind of what they were going for, was, the idea that Applejack is already pretty much super strong, so it wouldn't be much of a superpower in that situation.
I figured they chose the lasso because she's already so strong that they figured, she already has the strength, just needs the bro.
Yeah, just got to add psychic rope to it. That's it. Now she's a super pony.
Yep.
What did we
say that I just love the design of Rainbow Dash's costume? I think it's probably the best of.
I liked all
in
of the
general
costumes.
were so cool.
Yeah, I loved all of the costumes. I really liked Pinky's costume. I thought it was a really good costume.
It was like kind of like an inverted Flash costume. It was not yellow, but it was blue, and it was not red, but it was white. Like a little bit inverted kind of thing. But I liked that because it fit her color scheme, but it was still very obviously a Flash suit, so that was really cool.
What did we think of Fluttershy hulking the fuck out?
That was great.
That was awesome.
It was amazing.
Very, very weird.
Yes.
I like her hooves didn't grow. Her hooves stayed the same size.
She didn't have these like giant hooves, like when you see the Hulk hulking out, he has like giant hands. But no, she has like these tiny hooves, and everything else is giant.
Tiny little hooves. No,
that was so great because we had a lot of fun when I watched this with Perry Boyfriend. We had a lot of fun just guessing which powers they had, which character it was based on. But Fluttershy, we figured, oh, she's going to be the Hulk. Oh, she's going to be the Hulk. And you expected the entire episode, but still, we were still kind of scared. When like, whoa! I think I literally said, "There come my nightmares for the next few days." that was just. Damn, that was well played. Good build up, and it was still scary.
I was honestly expecting her to be something like controlling creatures, something like Aquaman on land, not the Hulk. Well, we know she's the Hulk now that they said it, but before the episode.
Yeah, it was an interesting character inversion. Fluttershy as a character lends herself well to inversions, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a nice harking back, to the days of season 1 where we see Fluttershy just completally losing her nerves.
That I was about to mention Dragonshy actually, because I think that's why they chose her to be the Hulk, be the Hulk in this episode, because usually she's calm and collected, but someone messed with either her friends or who what she cares about, in this case being the little firefly that the maniac swatted away, and she absolutely flips, whether it be on the maniac or the dragon in season 1. But I think that's why they chose to have her be the Hulk, is for that reason.
How dare you?
That's seriously what I love. It just, I thought it was fitting, extremely fitting, that we see she can get really angry, but she's usually meek. Like Bruce Banner is just like some scientist guy who's like rather meek and not really important or overbearing. But when he's the Hulk, he's the exact opposite. So that was fitting. I like that.
And I did like how like Rarity, they pretty much got, she is the Green Lantern. That there's no question. She makes the constructs, and her bracelet acts exactly like the lantern ring does. I did enjoy seeing that. Although for Rainbow Dash, I can't figure out whether she's supposed to be Storm or Thor. Because,
I think both. It was kind of like a mixture, wasn't it?
Because she has the lightning powers that Thor does, but she also had the tornado, wind, weather powers that Storm does.
Someone in our punch list put Thorm. They are no longer welcome here.
But seriously, that's what they did. I think that worked.
The correct pun is store. That's it. Just
Yep.
But I really enjoyed that too, because she already is super fast. Making her superpower super fastness, like super speed, would have been just kind of dull and redundant. So Pinky is super fast, and she gets the weather powers because she's the weather pony. So.
If they made Rainbow the Flash, I don't think it would have had the same impact as if they made Pinky the Flash.
Duh.
It's like, of course Pinky's the Flash. She's hyper to the point of extreme. Of course she's going to be moving fast.
But what I like is that her personality was not, as like overbearing as in other episodes where I thought, especially in season 3, she was kind of annoying. But here she was like, positive hyper. I don't know. I think in general personalities managed to stay on spot despite the whole really zany premise. Like, oh god, now they're super ponies. That sounds like something where you'd think everything would go crazy, right? But no.
Yeah. I liked how at the end, the very end of the episode, right when they get out of the comic, she pulls the whole Flash thing, and they're like, "Where did you get those cupcakes?" She's like, "Well, we had like 0.65 seconds before we were sucked back out of the comic book, so I was able to run 65 blocks to
the Metropolis Bakery." That was great.
All right. Well, we seem to have stealth carried through into character development.
I'm so stealthy.
We're so stealthy. And so, sounds like we generally enjoyed Pinky's development, how Pinky was played in this one, and Fluttershy.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Spike's development through the episode?
Oh, he is. I kind of like that he gets a little chance because he always is the butt monkey, even though they kind of seem to keep forgetting he saved the Crystal Empire.
Well,
yeah.
I honestly think
it harks back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think this episode builds on that concept. I think the Crystal Empire was kind of the start of Spike being a real character, and this is taking that to the next step.
Yeah, I thought that Spike had also, at least to me, it felt like he had a bit of, he was miffed, not just because he's usually the Bat Monkey, which is something the show does a lot, we have to admit. We actively embrace it a lot, like, oh, Spike gets something happened to him again. But I think he was also kind of miffed because of the fact that he managed to be important sometimes, but it's just not acknowledged. Like, nobody really feels like he's needed. And he wants to have that expanded. So I think the episode built on that, yeah.
Plus, the way he feels, it's an understandable thing. It's always the main six who always had, I mean, they don't have them now, but they always had the elements of harmony. They always were the ones who fought, whatever bad guys came up. And now, especially now that Twilight has now become an alicorn and has all these, new responsibilities, I think Spike was beginning to feel like he really doesn't matter anymore. So I think that it was a good episode premise to, look at, like, Spike feeling left out or not important. And I think they did it, they did it in the form of, a superhero comic, but, it was a very important thing to address, especially now that season 4 has started.
I think you can pretty much trace it back, can't you? I mean, remember season 2 when Discord came, Return of Harmony. Spike is nervous as hell, but at the prospect of being the new Rainbow Dash, and he's like, oh no, I can't do that. Oh, should we just give up? Blah blah blah. He's super nervous. But in the Crystal Empire, we see that at first he doesn't want to rise to the challenge either because come on, he's a kid. He's like, no, I can't do this, right. But he did, and I think after that he got that more confidence, and now he wants to build on that. So I think it's a pretty logical expansion, and I'm really enjoying that he gets that spotlight because he deserves it. And after Spike at your service, I kind of feel like we should expand on him being useful in a well-written manner, and I think the episode managed to do that.
All right. Well, we are running out of time today. We do have a relatively short and tight schedule for this recording, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry for
it's fine.
I have so many words to say.
Yeah, I know. We didn't hit everything on our bullet point list, but I feel like we hit all of our really important stuff.
Didn't we say that Maniac was hilarious?
No.
And I love how they made her basically the Joker. I mean, down to the origin story of falling into the... Yes, that was awesome.
That was a really clever thing, and I like that they did that.
Yes, it was not grating, but it was just the right bit. And I think Ellen Kennedy, the voice actress, hasn't been on the show so far. At least I don't think so.
She has not.
But she's really funny. She was really funny.
She voiced in Princess Promenade Daffodil Daisy and Breezy Number 1.
Some background characters, man.
Yeah, she's done a ton of background characters. She was in Reboot, interesting. And in Dragon Ball Z, but it doesn't look like she's done a lot of stuff, but she pulled off the supervillain laugh really well.
Yes, I think as a kind of sort of female Joker, she was hilarious. I love that laugh, and we've spoken a lot about on the forums and stuff about the mouth animation on Miss Harshwinny and Flight to the Finish and how funny that was. She also had a lot of unique animation, just like that mouth. That was just that was hilarious. I really liked that.
Also, she also had a little bit of like Dr. Octopus going on with the way her hair moved.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or did they just reuse Luna's model for her?
It was kind of.
They pretty much reused.
Yeah.
They pretty much reused Luna's model, cut the hair off, and called it a day. But that's not uncommon for this. That is absolutely nothing new.
I was just wondering if I was
Flash
just imagining things.
Animating that hair must have been both fun and hell.
Yeah, I think they did that with Fleur de Lis too.
Her hair, especially with her slinking around on the cannon and stuff like that.
Yes,
there was some gorgeous animation in here.
In general, I felt the episode. Did you notice at least the backgrounds were drawn a bit differently, like less thick outlines? The outlines were black, or at least darker, instead of brightly colored than usual. It looked basically like they watched a lot of Batman Brave and the Bold and thought, hey, that looks like the kind of superhero style we want.
It's not a bad template. Well, all right, guys. It is time to cut it off.
I talked too much. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's why I brought you along. That's why we're all here, is to talk.
I have too many words on superheroes.
Yeah, I imagine if we had time, we could do this for 2 hours, but
superheroes.
We don't. But we don't, unfortunately. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and talking with me. Thanks, Perry. Thanks, Snowfire. Thanks, Tailspin.
It was fun.
And thank you, everybody who is listening to this, for actually doing it. So everybody say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you later.
See you soon.